Hey everybody, welcome to the Calitraveler podcast show. I'm your host, Paul. Once again, welcome to the Calitraveler podcast show. I'm your host, Paul. Welcome to Season 2, Episode 10 of the Calitraveler podcast show. This week's topic will be discussing the do's and don'ts in Thailand. And this applies to all of you, whether you're an expat, tourist, enjoying the beautiful land of smile. I've been in Thailand for the past 3 years. I have learned very quickly what the biggest do's and don'ts of this country are. Learned them on my own when I have committed the don'ts. This week's episode is going to give you that information of the do's and don'ts of Thailand and what you can do to make sure that you have a very pleasant stay. All the information I'm about to provide you comes from a website called Thaizer.com. According to Thaizer.com, some of the biggest Thailand do's and don'ts are: do respect all Buddha images. Thailand is a Buddhist majority country. Do dress properly when visiting a Buddhist temple. What they mean by dressing properly doesn't mean you go to the temple in a bikini mini skirt. When you go to a temple, wear pants, sweats, skirts that go below the knee. Remove your shoes before entering a temple. Go to a house. I am an American expat living in Thailand. I still take my shoes off and I leave my shoe rack. Treat monks with the highest respect. Transit systems like the MRT and BTS lines, they have special seats, and these seats have markings for pregnant women, elderly, disabled, and for Buddhist monks. I remember one time there was a woman who was sitting in one of these seats and she wasn't paying attention, and then I see a monk standing up and I tap her on the shoulder, and she's wondering why the hell I just tapped her on the shoulder. I was like, oh, there's a monk. So she got up and the monk then sat down. Do try and keep calm no matter what the problem or provocation may be. This is one that I unfortunately have had to learn the very hard way. Here in Thailand, people do not like it when you shout. I am somebody who tends to talk very loudly. I'm not angry, but here that's a big no-no. Just try and keep calm. Eat with a spoon, and you can use the fork to load food onto the spoon. This is a big thing here in Thailand. I remember eating with a fork and people just look at you like, what the hell is this guy doing? Lower your body slightly when passing between or in front of people. That's just common courtesy. Try and learn a few basic phrases in Thai like hello and thank you. For men, you would say sawasdee krap for hello. Women would say sawasdee ka. For men to say thank you, you would say kapung krap. Women would say kapung ka. Learn these basic phrases. Barely knew how to speak Thai. All I knew how to say was sawasdee krap. And Thaizer.com does say do smile a lot, hence the land of smiles. Definitely enjoy yourself. Do ensure that you have a visa, which I don't know how you're going to be able to get into the country without a visa. Now, again, that depends on the country that you're from. Do make sure you have adequate travel insurance. Any country that I visit, I always get a travel insurance policy, whether it would be 1 day of travel, 2 days, 3 days, so on and so forth. Always make sure that you have. On to the don'ts, according to Thaizer.com. Don't cross your legs when you're in the presence of a monk. This applies whether you are sitting on the floor or in a chair. In the West, men and women crossing their legs is actually a very normal thing, but here in Thailand, that's a big no-no. Another don't, according to Thaizer, is don't touch a Thai woman without consent. I mean, that's every country you go to. Don't be overly affectionate in public. This is one that I have seen foreigners go against time and again. But when they mean don't be overly affectionate, that means you don't make out with your significant other. Holding hands is okay. Kissing in public here is just frowned upon. One of these is don't sunbathe nude. According to Thaizer, this is the most offensive to most Thai people, although nobody is likely to say anything to you if you do so. Do not worry too much about whether you should Y or not. I remember moving here at first, I was kind of scared of, oh, what happens if I don't Y this person? I mean, who do I Y? And how do I do it? Well, That is a very simple thing. If you have issues or concerns, don't hesitate to ask a local. Thais are very friendly people, and they'll be happy to help you out. Do not touch a Thai person's head or ruffle their hair. Apologize if you accidentally touch somebody's head. The reason that they get so offended over this is because the head is considered a sacred part of the body. Do not place your feet on the table while sitting. Don't point anything with your feet or touch anybody with your feet. That is extremely impolite. Also, who the hell wants to be touched by somebody's foot? Do not raise your voice. Again, this is one that I had to learn hard. Do not be offended by questions about age, marital status, or what you do for a living. Thai people is they love to strike up conversations. Don't overstate your visa. Like I said in the last podcast, I almost made that mistake. Do not do it. These are some of the biggest do's and don'ts of Thailand according to Thaiser.com. Check out their website. You'll find some very useful information. I hope that this information helps you on your stay in the land of smiles. Sawadee krap. Podcast can be heard weekly on my YouTube channel, so subscribe to Calitraveler 93, as well as liking my Facebook page, Calitraveler 93, and the podcast will be available on Spotify and other platforms.